This might be the hardest pizza to get in the entire country. A few weeks ago, we tried New Haven's famous Ambiance for the first time, and it's safe to say we're hooked. According to Dave Portnoy, the second best pizza in all of Connecticut is actually here in Meriden, about 20 miles north of New Haven, at this hole-in-the-wall local spot with an oven that might be the oldest in the entire country. Today, we're trying the Little Rendezvous.
We are headed to Boston for the weekend. We are clearly on our way there right now, and we're passing through the New Haven area, so we had to try another New Haven Ambiance. The list of recommendations from you guys is long, so we asked in a poll which place we should go first, and this narrowly beat out Roseland. Honestly, I was fully expecting to try Bar next, so maybe we're a little out of touch, or we just have a ton of Dave Portnoy fans. Either way, if they have New Haven Ambiance and Fox and Park Soda, I'm there.
We were going to try to continue the checklist we made for the New Haven pizza videos, but this place is a different experience entirely. First, how long is the wait? We had to call ahead this morning to guarantee that we were actually gonna get a pizza. They open at 11 and we couldn't get through until 11:30. Will was literally dialing and dialing and dialing their phone number. And it just was busy the whole entire time until finally he got a hold of someone. And then the earliest time they had was 2:30. We wound up requesting 3:30 because it just worked better with our schedule, and they agreed, which we were super excited about. But from 5 to 7, which is typical dinner time, they were completely booked.
The very soon as they get that out, we like 6:50.
Can we order half cheese, half tomato? Since we had a call ahead, we already know the answer to that question. Yes.
And can we take a tour of the kitchen? It is such a small place. I think only 3 people work there and they seem so busy. So I kind of feel bad asking for a tour of the kitchen, but you never know.
Usually when someone says their local spot is the best in the world at something, you might nod and shrug them off. But for locals here in Meriden, they might have been right. The Little Rendezvous is the definition of a hidden gem. Its oven dates back to 1888, making it one of, if not the oldest ovens in the entire country. Based on our experiences at Pepe's and Sally's, there's no replicating the distinct flavors you get from a classic coal-fired brick oven. It was used to bake bread until 1938 when the Bertolini family relocated to Meriden and began making pizza. By 1946, ownership had passed to Tony Pascucci, who renamed it to the Little Rendezvous. Over the years, it stayed relatively under the radar to everyone but locals, who said it rivaled the best in New Haven. The current owner, Steve Chahotsky, took over in 2010 after training under the previous owner, Paul Bernier, who had worked in the shop for over 48 years. Its status as a hidden gem would change dramatically after Dave Portnoy gave the pizza a rare 9.1 in 2023, the second highest score he's given in Connecticut.
9-1.
Let's go.
9-1.
Let's go.
If you're going New Haven and you're doing Sally's and Pepe's, you have to make the extra half an hour trip for here. No questions asked.
Immediately, it became a pizza bucket list destination for many, garnering wait times 3 hours long or more.
Obviously, we've already placed our order. Ordering here is unlike anything I have ever experienced before, but we're here like 10 minutes before we're supposed to pick up our pizzas, so I'm curious how it's going to go.
Oh my goodness. Oh, do you have cash? I totally forgot it's cash only. It's so quiet in here. This is crazy. It's so quiet. Wow. Hi.
The Little Rendezvous is a hole-in-the-wall spot, but with so much character. It's made up of 2 buildings connected in 1938 by a long hallway that these days is stocked with dozens of pizza boxes. The front room is the dining room. There are a handful of old wooden tables and folding chairs that Steve said are almost always available. We were here for an hour and a half, and despite a steady stream of people coming in to pick up their pizzas, we were the only people dining in. The back room is where the magic happens. Here you'll find their famous oven, a handwritten menu, and the team working tirelessly to prepare as many pizzas as physically possible. Since we arrived a little early, we spent a lot of time talking to Steve, who told us countless stories of the people who he had to unfortunately turn away.
We just had to tell 2 guys that from Canada. They drove here from Canada.
Oh my goodness.
But the wait was like 3.5 hours. So
Yeah.
they're gonna try tomorrow.
The handwritten menu is simple, but still has everything you could want. They've got a traditional tomato pizza that comes with grated cheese, you can get clams, and pretty much any topping you could find at your local pizza spot. They have some interesting crust options like a thinner crust, a double crust, and a gluten-free crust, and you can even buy their dough. Of course, they also have Fox & Park soda. If you're new to Connecticut's pizza scene or you just haven't seen any of our other videos, Fox & Park is a local soda brand based out of East Haven that you can really only find in this area.
These pizzas just came out and they are piping hot, so while we let them cool, I figured I'd tell you a little bit about this place. When we walked in, there was not a soul in here, and I just think it's so cool that a little place like this is so popular and you'd never know it. Like, there's not a line out the door. Like I said, there's no one in here, but yet Steve is like literally making pizzas all day. He has not stopped once since we walked in here, and I'm sure he won't stop until this place closes at like 8 p.m. It just feels like such a family run, like, small local business, and I'm just all about that vibe. They put so much care and thought into the food. You can tell in like everything they're doing, every word they're saying. It's just honestly such a wholesome experience, and I am very excited to try this. I feel like they definitely deserve Dave Portnoy's 9.1. Let's dig in. First off, it has a nice layer of Parmesan cheese, a little bit of flop. Let's give it a try. Oh my goodness. Wow, that sauce, to die for. It is a little sweet, not that acidic. It is so good.
I'm going to try my absolute best to not fold it for you guys. But yeah, this one has like a little bit of coloring on the bottom, but overall, they're not like that charred looking, especially compared to like the ones we had at Sally's.
That one looks way more charred than mine was though.
The first thing I taste on this one is the Parmesan cheese. They put Parmesan cheese on their plain tomato pies here, which they didn't do at some of the other places, but it just adds that little bit extra that you're missing from not getting like the mozzarella cheese, and it is fantastic. This sauce is definitely more on like that sweeter side like Sally's, but I would say I probably prefer the Sally's sauce a little bit more than this one. It's not like spicy and intricate like the one at Modern, but it's still really, really, really good. Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna fold
Yeah,
it?
it is nice, and I'm trying not to fold it. The one thing that I noticed more than anything is you don't get that like New Haven Ambiance like char flavor that you usually get. Like, there's no smoky flavor, but I don't know. It's obviously still fantastic. All right, I'm folding it.
This is undoubtedly a great pizza, but I do think it seems a little out of place compared to Pepe's, Sally's, and Modern. The crust is thin and has more of a cracker-like snap rather than a coal-fired crunch, if that makes sense. We actually did a South Shore bar pie tour right after this, and the crust at the Little Rendezvous is a surprisingly similar texture and consistency to those pizzas. Being that Portnoy is from Massachusetts and started One Bite to review the South Shore bar pies, it's not surprising that he loved this one. More than anything, I was surprised it didn't have that signature coal oven smokiness. But if you're one of those people who think the pizzas at Sally's taste burnt, you're going to love this one.
All right, next I'm gonna try the cheese. I also wanted to mention that when we first walked back into the kitchen, I was kind of like sliding a little bit. There is a layer of flour on everything. Let's try this. Usually I'm more of a original tomato fan, but I think I prefer the cheese here. It does add a little bit of a crunch because the cheese kind of got like caramelized on the top and has a little bit of that burnt flavor, but you can see what I mean. So the back, it doesn't really have much char to it, and I think that's what I'm missing here. It doesn't have that crunch. The specialty looks like it's a little bit more cooked and like a little more crunchy, so I'm curious what we're gonna think of that.
That is so good. Don't get me wrong, it is fantastic, but I still feel like you're just kind of missing that char and smokiness that New Haven Ambiance is known for. Especially what's interesting is like they have such a similar oven, coal-fired, over 100-year-old oven. So I'm kind of curious why they don't get that like smokiness in the crust at all, but you know, still fantastic.
Since we were able to do half cheese, half plain, the crust on the cheese side is obviously the same as it was on the plain side. Because it's so thin, it doesn't really have a super distinct flavor anyways, but add on the cheese and the crust really fades to the background. That being said, it has the perfect balance of sauce and cheese. Both salty and sweet, a bit more oily than the other New Haven places, but not too much. Delicious.
Last but not least, their specialty. It has sausage, peppers, and some mushrooms. This one definitely looks more thin. It's got a little bit more char on the back. Let's give it a try. That sausage is incredible. I love how it's really spread evenly throughout the pizza, and the peppers and mushrooms add so much flavor. It is a really good mix of like adding something else to the pizza, but also not taking away from how amazing the original is.
That's so good. The perfect combination of ingredients.
Yeah.
The sausage with the pepper, oh my God. The sausage is sweet. There's like a little bit of spice in there too. Specifically just the sausage, I still think Zupardi's was the best, but in terms of like the pie as a whole, like with the crust and the cheese and the sauce, I don't know, this one might be my favorite. It is really good.
The house special is the only specialty pie on the menu and might be my favorite thing here. Other than the crust, the amazing thing about these pizzas is that you can really taste all of the different ingredients. The sauce, the cheese, the peppers, mushrooms, and that incredible sausage. Sometimes when you start adding things to pizza, the ratios get thrown off, like the cheese will overpower the sauce, but that is not the case here at all. Steve said he's personally made over 250,000 pizzas, and it really shows.
What a fantastic experience. Definitely the most fun and unique pizza experience I've ever had anywhere. Obviously, the pizza is a little hard to compare to the New Haven spots because I do feel like it's just a different pizza entirely. It's not about the char, it's not about the smokiness. It's like a snappy little like crackery crust almost, which is still really good in its own right. So I don't know, maybe you don't come here with the mindset that you're directly comparing it to Sally's, but we had such a great time talking to everyone in there. It is really just like one of those pizza experiences that even with all the headache, it's worth experiencing once. But if you've ever been, we would love to know what you thought of it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.